Let's talk about what we do, Evergreen Leads. Here's kind of like our method with our clients. And again, we try to maintain this with all of our clients, but especially we make sure the new clients have this in place and they get this attention, okay? So we do 2 check-ins. That's kind of what we try and do. This is my system. Doesn't mean it's perfect. We did scale over 100K a month, but maybe it's wrong. So here's what we do is we do a check-in in the middle of the month. Then at the end of the month, we do a dig in, more of a formal screencast, Zoom call, phone call, whatever. That's more of like dig in. Middle of the month, we just do a simple check-in. Sometimes, as we can tell clients are doing well, we're getting them a bunch of leads. A lot of times we'll just shoot over a text. So here's a couple of little pointers. When you're doing these like mid-month check-ins, have a reason for calling. So typically what I do is I'll just use some random excuse. So like, for example, we'll have a lead that comes in and it's a commercial job. What I'll do is I'll typically just call and be like, hey, I saw that like that one came in, had a weird area code or whatever. I wanted to check, was that something that you guys do cover that area? And I'll always have like a specific reason for calling. It's usually about a lead. I just have a reason and I'll tell you why. If you just call the business owner and give them an open mic and say, hey, Fred, just wanted to check if there's anything that we can do to improve. Guys, I'm all about over delivering, but if you ask somebody a question like that, guess what's going to happen? Even if there's nothing, they're going to search for an answer. That's how the human brain works. Oh, he asked me if there's anything that I can do that they can do to improve. Let me think of some random ass shit to give them. If you ask for an improvement, they're going to give you one, whether it needs it or not. So I don't like to just leave the floor open. Now, again, this comes back to like, there's a fine line. I do want to have a freaking amazing product that delivers, it over delivers. It's way more than they ever got sold on, but I'm not going to leave the floor open for them just to bitch and moan and put stuff in their head. So I always call that first call with a specific lead. And then I got ahead of myself. On the next call, what we typically say is hey, we wanted to just do a quick meeting and we want to make sure these leads are getting handled. We don't say, hey, we just wanted to go over every single lead, or hey, we wanted to see how we can improve, all that kind of stuff. Guys, you know where you need to improve. They're going to let you know if it's drastic. Okay. And so I put right here, if you ask how things are going, or if there's anything you could improve on, they are going to find an answer. Plain and simple. So couple important notes when we're doing these calls. That mid-month one, literally just a touch-in, just so they know that you're there. And feel free to, like, if there was a juicy lead that came in or whatever, you can ask them about a lead. I just like to check in and see how they're doing. And sometimes that mid-month call, we don't even talk about business at all. I'll ask them about business. Like, how's business going? It's warming up over here. How's it in Florida, man? Like, whatever, some bullshit like that, right? And we just kind of shoot it. And I'm just trying to keep a relationship. I'm trying to let them know, like, they are important, they do matter, and we do appreciate their business. That's all that is. Now, if something comes up, you got a question, whatever, boom, address it. Okay. But that's all. That's just a check-in. At the end of the month, we let them know we want to go over a couple things. But I want to say this. These are the 2 things that you have to remember and that you need to focus on as you're getting on these calls. Is number 1, make sure that you are getting those 12 to 15 leads. And if you're not, you need to make sure to bring that up first. And I'll give a shout out to Linda, because Linda took the concept we talk about in the setup, which is overcoming the objections by bringing it up first. And she's like, yeah, you can do this with every single thing. And so to recap, what she does is, if a client, she's sending leads and the client doesn't close any leads, right when they get on the call, she brings it up first. She goes, hey, how'd those 3 leads go? I know you didn't close any. That's pretty normal. I mean, this is a numbers game, like no big deal. And then she never has an issue. But before, when she would just like, they would bring it up and say, well, we haven't closed any leads. We don't know how the quality is going to be. Same concept here. If you guys get on the phone on this dig-in call, which is at the end or the beginning of the month, however you structure it, and you're not hitting the leads, make sure you bring it up first. So what I would do is be like, hey, just want to go over really quick a couple of these leads. And by the way, as I said, we're going to average that that 10 to 15 mark. This month is a little bit slower, but I fully anticipate this month's going to be a better month. And like I told you, it's an average. So it is what it is, whatever. Like, you just bring it up first. So make sure, number 1, that you're actually hitting the numbers. Because if you're not hitting the numbers, if you do that for a couple months in a row, they're going to get concerned. Make sure that you're getting the numbers. If you need to bump up the ads, if you need to double down on your SEO efforts, whatever, make sure that you're hitting those numbers. And those numbers should not be hard to hit. 10, 12, 15 leads, somewhere in that range, especially if you start getting some organic that's coupled with that, that should not be hard to get. And those of you that have sites that are getting organic anyway, shouldn't be hard to hit at all.